Hey, what's going on, friends and theme park fans? This is Silver Stix here for another Stix Top 6, where I count down the best and worst that theme parks have to offer. Alrighty folks, I wanted to try something a little different here on Stix Top 6 today. In the past on this series, we've talked about the best and worst attractions you can find in both Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure separately. But today I thought we'd combine the forces of both parks and the forces of the best and worst list together and count down the absolute best of the best and worst of the worst attractions at Universal Orlando Resort as a whole. So essentially, this list assumes you have a park hopper pass, and you're able to visit both IOA and Universal Studios on the same day. And I certainly hope I'm making sense so far. Anyway, the way this list is going to work to fit in both the best and worst attractions is pretty simple, really. Numbers 6 through 4 are going to be the top 3 worst, while numbers 3 through 1 are the top 3 best. So in the end, it'll all still build up to a Stix Top 6. Yes, thank you, I know it's an awesome idea. But anyway, before we begin, I should also mention that this list will be from the perspective of your average casual theme park fan, just looking for a fun time around the resort for about a day. So there will be no super crazy high-speed thrills like Rip Ride Rockit or Hulk, and none of my personal little favorites that nobody else likes like E.T. or Cat in the Hat, but because they definitely still deserve it, consider this all of their formal honorable mentions. But anyway folks, as always, this list is made up of just my opinions and this video is all for fun. But without any further ado, let's get this show started. Starting off our worst attractions today, we'll be taking our onion carriage over to Production Central in Universal Studios to take a look at the Ogre the Top adventure, Shrek 4D. And it honestly pains me to put this as one of the worst of the worst because who doesn't love Shrek? The movies and memes are hilarious and the cast is just perfect. But unfortunately, Shrek 4D is just an out-of-date attraction no matter how you look at it. Some of the props and effects in the queue are pretty cool, the film itself still makes me laugh to this day because it is Shrek, but even that I sort of have to go back on because you can actually watch it on Netflix, on any DVD copy of the original Shrek film, and I'm pretty sure you can just watch it straight up on YouTube at this point. There's just no reason to even go in this show building other than a few effects and some outdated 4D elements. It's been in the park since 2003, and it was incredible back then. For a long time, I would have said it was a must-do attraction for sure. But it's 2019 now, time's only moving forward, and it's beyond time to give this one a proper overhaul and update, to truly bring it back to its former glory days, which I know it can reach again. Moving over to the World Expo section of Universal Studios, we'll be able to find the live stage stunt show, Fear Factor Live. This attraction was opened on June 3rd, 2005, and just like Shrek 4D, at the time this first came around, it was pretty mind-blowing. The stunts, the audience participation, the effects, it was all new age and awesome. But nowadays, there's really nothing about this show that I, or anyone that I know, find interesting. It's just gross for the most part. Like the contestants throw around rancid octopi, let scorpions crawl on their face, and even drink a mixture of meat, seafood, sour milk, and insects. I don't know if 2005 was just a gross out era or something, but here in 2019, nobody wants to see that. I don't know if actually participating would be any fun for people. Personally, you couldn't pay me to do it, but maybe that's where the appeal lies for someone with this one. Because the way I see it, this is just a boring stage show based on a television program with hardly any relevance anymore, featuring the same exact disgusting challenges every single time, so it defeats the point of even rewatching it. I genuinely don't understand this show, and I know for a fact Universal could use this stage for something way better and way more entertaining. Just look at it during Halloween Horror Nights, it's way better. But until that day, Fear Factor Live will remain where it sits, disappointing guests day in and day out. Alrighty folks, finishing off our 3 worst attractions today, we'll head over to the San Francisco portion of Universal Studios to hop on a party bus with 47 other people to take a ride on Fast and Furious Supercharged. Boy oh boy, does this ride just suck. The blurry 360 screens, the putrid water being sprayed in your face the entire time, the absolutely awful green screen acting across the board, and worst of all, the simply boring, slow ride-through of what should have been an intense test track type experience to simulate the Fast and Furious. What we ended up getting though is just a small piece of the studio tour over in Hollywood, a really bad piece at that. I mean, the sheer amount of people who agree that the queue for this ride is far more entertaining than the actual ride itself should definitely say something. I mean, at least the queue has sports cars and, you know, stuff that the Fast and Furious franchise is actually known for. This ride just feels like a quickly thrown together cash grab by Universal to capitalize on a popular franchise, and somehow, it seems like it kind of worked. This ride usually has wait times of around 30 to 40 minutes, so it's definitely pulling in audiences. It's just leaving them empty-hearted and let down afterwards. And that's just really sad on Universal's part, and it just seems so out of character to throw something in to fill in space essentially. But for all these reasons and so many more, Fast and Furious Supercharged is easily the worst attraction in all of Universal Orlando Resort. Nice job. Alright, with the worst attractions out of the way, let's get into a much more positive mindset as we swing over to Marvel Superhero Island, where we'll start our countdown of the 3 best attractions with The Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man. This motion-based 3D dark ride lasts about 5 minutes and truly puts you right in the middle of the world of Spider-Man, flying across the city on webs, falling from buildings, and even pinning you up against the Sinister Syndicate. This ride is just downright epic. And all of this is complemented by a seamless use of special effects including fog machines, fire, wind, heat, mist, strobe lights, and water sprayers that help you get completely immersed in this adventure. But it's not all 3D elements that keep this ride as one of the best, it's also the physical sets that look as though you're driving right through New York City, falling 400 feet from a building, looking at the Statue of Liberty right in the face, or even crashing into a garbage truck driven by the legendary Stan Lee. I mean, there's just so many thrills, laughs, secrets, and Easter eggs, and all-around good times to find within this attraction that I simply can't recommend it enough. The Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man is easily a must-do attraction anytime you visit Islands of Adventure, and it usually doesn't even have the longest wait time either. At the very most, I'll tend to see this one at about 30 to 45 minutes, and with how great it really is, I promise you'll be heading back into that wait line again and again every time you visit the park. Racing over to the New York City section of Universal Studios, we'll be able to catch a tour of an ancient tomb and take on the undead in Revenge of the Mummy, The Ride. This indoor dark ride slash steel coaster is just the definition of excitement. From the second you round your first corner to see Imhotep sucking the soul out of one of the mummy crew members, you instantly know you're in for one thrill-tastic excursion. Then of course you have the mummies popping out left and right, the room that burst into flames, and my personal favorite, the scarab beetles that come out of the walls all around your ride cart and terrify everyone. And all of this happens before you even reach the actual roller coaster portion of the ride, which, ladies and gentlemen, is really where the fun kicks in full force. With a max height of 44.4 feet in the air and a max speed of 40 miles per hour, you're certainly in for one high-octane ride through with this one, featuring flashing images of mummies illuminated in the darkness to add just a little more terror to your experience. It's just insane. And I know the way I'm explaining this seems like it'd just be terrifying, but I promise the fun overpowers the fear easily. You'll be too busy laughing and screaming with everybody else in your ride cart to even focus on the drops or anything. I really just can't express how much fun this one is. Like, on several different trips to the parks, I'll get off this ride only to hop right back in line because of how great it is. And because it's got so many different elements, from audio animatronics to dark ride portions to an amazing roller coaster, there is definitely something for everyone to enjoy in this ride. And if you haven't given it a chance just yet, then I can't suggest it enough. It's simply a masterpiece. Soaring over to Hogsmeade in the wizarding world of Harry Potter, where we'll be able to follow Hagrid and his expertise of magic through the skies on Universal Orlando's newest and most advanced attraction yet, Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure. And this ride genuinely is magical. Everything from the sound effects of the motorbike, the narration from Hagrid, the 70-degree vertical ramp, the 50-mile-per-hour speed, the drop tower, the audio animatronics, the atmosphere and set pieces, and so much more, all work together to build up this incredibly immersive, one-of-a-kind experience. And take it from me, someone who isn't even a big Harry Potter fan, this is still easily the best ride in Universal Orlando. I'm not sure if it'll have competition after Epic Universe is built, but for now, Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure is straight up mind-blowing, and you won't even remember the 2, 3, 4 hour wait once you get off, because you'll just be in shock and awe at how amazing the ride was. And while we're on that topic, the wait isn't even that bad because the queue is just awesome. Even the outdoor areas have so much vibrance and life to them that it doesn't even bother you one bit to stand around waiting, and seeing it all on video doesn't even do it justice. A ride like this comes around only once every so often, and you'd be silly to miss out on it. Even with the long wait and screaming Harry Potter fans, this ride is beyond worth all of it. And until you get the chance to hop aboard this amazing attraction, just take my word for it, that it easily earns the #1 spot as the best attraction in all of Universal Orlando Resort, without a single doubt. Alrighty folks, so that'll about wrap up the best and worst attractions at Universal Orlando Resort. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please consider leaving a like, comment, subscribe, and share the video around. It'd mean a lot and help out a ton. Also leave down in the comments what you guys' favorite and least favorite attractions throughout Universal Orlando are, so we can start a conversation down there. But before we go guys, I really wanted to mention, as some of you may or may not know, making these videos, going to the parks, and living life in general can get pretty expensive. So after a lot of debate, I ended up opening a donation page with Ko-Fi. You guys can find it at ko-fi.com/silverstix, or at the top of the description, where you guys can help me buy a Mickey bar or two for as low as just $3 at a time. And if you do decide to support me, I'll be putting the names of everyone who donates at the end of every Stix Top 6 episode, so if you ever wanted a shout out, this is definitely the way to go about it. Of course, none of this is required by any means, and the videos will still all remain free, and I still appreciate the heck out of everyone that watches regardless. But if you do feel like helping me and the channel as closely and personally as possible, then maybe consider clicking the link at the top of the description. Any sort of contribution would be beyond appreciated and means the absolute world to me, honestly. But anyway folks, with nothing really left to say, this is Silver Stix signing out. I hope you have a great rest of your day, theme park fans. Peace.